Hi guys, it's Miss Steph. Um, here we go. So today we have a marshmallow theme, um, and I actually had some plans for some other things, but no, not gonna work. All right, so um, hi, it's Miss Steph. You know how I am. We've got Facebook and YouTube going both at the same time. Um, and yeah, I'm glad that you're with me again today. Um, yeah, I'm not going to comment about the technical difficulties on today. Today's theme is the marshmallows. So we are actually going to do both activities will involve using marshmallows. One of them, I have to take a deep breath because you know how I feel about saying that you can eat your science. But one of them actually is designed a recipe that I found after a request from one of my students. That is it's an edible slime. You can tell how hard it is for me to actually verbalize, say that out loud, just because some things I just don't believe should be edible. I just don't. But it'll be fun for you, so I'm going to do it. Okay. So once again, it's Miss Steph here. Welcome to Saturday Science with Miss Steph. You should be able to see me both on Facebook and YouTube right now. It seems like everything is up. If not, we'll deal with it later. Yeah? Okay. Let's have our science fun. I'm using my Jet Puff Jumbo marshmallows for today's activities. So the edible slime is more of a demonstration type thing. And then as far as our other situation, that could be it's borderline experiment. You know how I feel about calling things experiments. Experiments is a really specific term. You need to be able to have a control. You need to make sure that you're measuring things and comparing them equally and all that kind of stuff. So I hesitate to call it an experiment, but it definitely has the beginnings of an actual real experiment. So let's do that one first because it does need to sit for a little bit. And I'm going to do it kind of quickly because I need to get to what I just brought out of the microwave to make sure that that's going to work too. Yes, microwave, all that kind of stuff. So we have here some different cups. Of course, I've labeled my cups. I have 4 cups. I am going to place on our collective behalf. And this is definitely one that you can try at home. And I actually suggest that you try it at home so that you can touch it and smell it and so on and so forth and have your own experiences with it and also make your own adjustments to it, because that is one of my favorite parts of science and one of the ways that I personally believe that art and science kind of touch is that creative part, is that saying, okay, I want to make this is how Miss Steph did it, but I'm going to make this change. So I definitely want to encourage you to go to do that. That being said, let's get into this activity. Does it have a name? Not really. It's just, I'm testing how marshmallows react or react in 4 different liquids. All 4 liquids are clear liquids, and that is on purpose for how I wanted to do it. I wanted to use liquids that have some similarities, and that, like I said, all 4 of them are clear. And that's kind of where their similarities stop. So I'm going to use water. Of course, water is our base liquid on the planet. And I believe that when you're working with certain things like this, if you're going to do something that involves comparing the reaction in a liquid, using water as one of your samples is always great in my opinion. So we've got water. We're going to do baby oil. We'll do vinegar, white vinegar. Well, it's not really white, but it is what that's the name. Okay, I got nothing to do with that name. And then we're gonna use some seltzer. We're gonna use one of my favorite flavors of seltzer, blackberry, because that's what I got. Okay. And the brand that I got it over here. Guess yet? The brand doesn't matter. Nope. All right. I'm going to pour an amount of water. Right? And everybody actually should be able to see it, right? And this water is just regular, just water. Once again, do I have a name for this activity yet? No. If you would like to recommend a name for this activity, because this is kind of a new one for me. I haven't done this before. I designed it based off of some other experiments that I saw. Like I said, experiment, usually the word experiment loosely. I saw on YouTube last night. I was doing some research and I knew I wanted to use marshmallows as our main theme ingredient, or that would like encompass both of our activities today. And so I did a little bit of research. But like I said, it doesn't have a name. If you want to recommend a name for us to use at Science Club, that will be kind of our secret Science Club title for this activity, please throw it in the comments. If you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, send me an email. All right, so we have water, baby oil. I don't know if you noticed, I'm doing slightly measured, measuring would be proper and going down like this, but I am trying to put in equal amounts of water into each cup and of the liquids into each cup. And of course, they're in separate cups because if they were all mixed together, you would not know what liquid made the marshmallows do certain things, right? You have to have them separated. Just like last week's activity, we had our hot water inside of one container and we had our cold water inside of the other. This particular water is room temperature water. It is neither cold nor hot. I've not done anything to it to make it a specific temperature. And then now we have our seltzer. Notice I'm opening it very slowly because I would prefer, even though it's just seltzer, I prefer it not spray all over me. So I'm opening it slowly. Right. Let the gas release a little bit. Right. That's all seltzer is, by the way. It's basically it's water with bubbles. Yes, and when you've got the flavored seltzer, right? Chemicals in there to try to make it be smancy. Okay. And that's one of the sounds that we have in my neighborhood all the time. All right, so water, baby oil, any type of brand, no specific brand, people. Y'all know how I am. If there's a specific brand that I think is best, I am about the marshmallows. Marshmallows, yes. There's a specific brand about the marshmallows, but the rest of this is just store brand stuff because really it's basically all pretty much the same thing. Marshmallow in, you notice how I'm just putting it in. I'm not putting it down. I'm not going to mix it and all that kind of stuff. Drop, drop. Okay. So putting these to the side. And we have, once again, water. Okay, I'm going to bring these closer to each camera so that you can kind of see what's happening. YouTube is a little harder to see. Sorry, guys, I was trying to get my other brand new camera that some supporters sent last week set up, and frankly, I couldn't get it to roll properly for the live, so apologies. Okay, there we go, baby oil. Then we've got our vinegar sample. You should be noticing something happening in the vinegar. Is vinegar normally that color? Ask yourself, is this color vinegar? Yeah, it's not, right? Putting that to the side because I wanted to sit Get my seltzer sample. See it? See it? See it? Right? And we'll put those to the side. That's our marshmallows in liquids experiment. Once again, if you want to recommend a name, because it's going to be something that we do on a regular basis when we hang out together, when that happens. When it happens. Not yet, guys, but when it does happen, we can actually have some fun with that. And so if you want to recommend a name, please, please, please put it in Facebook comments, send me a message, and I will absolutely take that name into consideration. Now, let's move on. And if I were in the classroom, I would say, have everybody say, moving on. And then you would say, don't play with me, people. Let's try this again. I say, moving on. And you say, I'm going to say you did it. I think you did it the second time. The first time, I know you didn't do it. No, you didn't do it. All right. For those of you that did, go ahead and put that in the comments. Be like, but Miss Steph, I followed instructions the first time. Hello, the first time. You know how I feel about people following instructions the first time. Definitely always celebrate that and shout it out in the classroom. So we have our marshmallows and liquids situation over there. Now we are going to go ahead and move on to something my students have been waiting for a very long time. Now, I got the idea. I did the research, this week, but I got the idea last Sunday from Miss A. Okay? Now, boo, this is for you. All right? And we're going to take some, what did I say is our theme? What do you think is inside of this container? Is melted marshmallow. And believe it or not, I put these marshmallows in the microwave for 15 seconds and then very quickly for another 5. Okay? Everyone can add that up. I'm not going to give you the answer. Okay? 15 plus 5. Tell me how long I put it in there. Go ahead and throw it in the comments when you get a chance. So these are marshmallows. There's actually 5 jumbo marshmallows. 5 jumbo marshmallows inside of here. All right? Now, I'm going to mix in my ingredients and you'll get to see me pick it. I'm going to touch it and do all that kind of stuff, right? To demonstrate for you and let you know the texture, the difference. I'm going to talk to you about the difference between this and our glue-based slime and also some other recommendations that I'll make for you. Right, so we've got this here slime. This is, right, our melted down marshmallow. And of course, it doesn't look quite melted just yet. But a quick stir is going to take care of that. Then I have some cornstarch. My stick here, my craft stick. Cornstarch. This is just a little bit of just regular cornstarch, nothing fancy. And I have plenty of oil here for me, okay, to use at my own kind of will as far as how much I want to add in, because I need to manage how sticky my product is, right? Need to manage how sticky my product's going to be, right? So think it through and throw it in the comments. Will the oil decrease the stickiness or increase the stickiness? Okay, think through it, my chemical engineers. Right? Is my oil going to increase my stickiness? Decrease it? I'm actually going to make some red, kind of pinkish, right? Because we're adding it to white. We're going to make kind of this pinkish color of slime, right? I've got my food coloring. Okay. So, hey there. So we're going to put in 5 drops. Some of you might be noticing I'm saying 5 a lot. And that's not for any particular reason. That's just kind of what it worked out to be. All right. So I'm going to give it a nice, pretty aggressive stir, frankly. I'm not going to be gentle with this. Sometimes I'm like, oh, stir slowly just so it doesn't get everywhere. I'm not going to be gentle with this because I want to make sure that it gets mixed in. I also want to mix whatever parts of the marshmallow that were not quite melted down with the melted part, right? Because if you want it to be a pretty homogeneous, okay, homogeneous or homogeneous mixture. Anybody know what that means? Huh? Anyone? Anyone? What does homogeneous mean? Right? Right? So you see it's pretty stringy and real sticky looking, right? Which makes sense. I mean, if anybody's ever melted marshmallows, everybody's made Rice Krispie treats. This is what helps your Rice Krispie treats stick together, right? So that makes sense. Okay, marshmallows have very high sugar content. Okay, and since I said that this would be potentially edible, am I going to eat it for you online? No, that's not happening because that's just not how I roll. However, I am showing you what is technically a non-toxic, like edible form of slime. But no, you're not gonna get Miss Steph eating. That's not happening, guys. I love y'all, but we don't have like that. All right. So we've got our color mixed in, right? I mixed in my pigment in my 5. Now the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add some oil, right? Now am I using baby oil or cooking oil? What did I say about this particular project? Think about it. Did I say it was edible or did I say we're doing this for fun? What did I say? Right? So think about what makes sense for me to use in this situation. Should be an edible oil, right? So I'm going to add just a bit. Okay. Show both of you. All right. I'm just going to mix that in a little bit. And when you first add your oil, you're going to think, oh, it's not sticky anymore. Trust me, this takes a lot of oil to really make it not sticky anymore. But the oil also gives it a nice shine, similar to our slime when I added our slime that I made about a week and a half ago, right? This is a slime that I used the corn syrup inside of, and it's still here, and it's still nice and shiny, right? The corn syrup gave it that shine. The oil in this situation is giving the slime a nice shiny finish. Now, when I add the cornstarch, do you think that will make the slime more shiny, or do you think it will make it more dull? I ask these questions because I want you to be thinking through the steps. I want you to think ahead of me, right? Each step has a reason. Each step has a function. Yeah? Okay. And we know that we use cornstarch typically in our oobleck, right? Oobleck is made out of what 2 main ingredients? Does anybody remember? Put that in the comments for me. Right? Oobleck has 2 main ingredients. Okay. So we've got our cornstarch here. 2 main ingredients. All right. So for our oobleck, like if we just wanted to make oobleck, you only need like 2 things. You can add food coloring to it, of course, but oobleck is the base of oobleck is 2 things. And of course, when I made it, I added a little something else too. Okay, so I've got this. I am going to take this out of my container and feel it. Let's wave at you first because I don't want to touch. my phone after touching this. Okay. Let's find out if this is slime, right? Because the thing is that you want it to be sticky, but you don't want it to be so sticky that you can't do anything with it, right? Okay, now we know that slime, our glue slime, is a non-Newtonian fluid, meaning if we put, the more pressure we put on it, the more solid it is. Okay. All right. This is only the second time I'm making this. I feel like this came out pretty good. Right. So finally did what some have been requesting for years, some edible slime. We have, you notice how it looks really similar to slime when I'm pulling on it. But what you also will notice, right, is that it's harder to get off of my hands. So that's now where what comes in? Our additives, right? So that's where the oil and the cornstarch are then helpful. Okay? And we know that just because it looks looks like a mess and we're having issues, we know that from my last slime live that I did on Facebook about a week and a half ago, we know that all we got to do is just add a few more ingredients, continue to exert pressure on it, and we will get it to behave the way we want it to behave. Now you notice I'm having it, with this, me pull the pull, it needs quite a bit of pull. Okay. It is sticky. Like I'm really having to exert a lot of pressure on it to get it to pull, because anybody who's ever made candy knows that things with sugar in it um, are strong. Okay. So next thing we're going to do very quickly, we're going to add some more of my oil and a bit more of my cornstarch. I'm going to add cornstarch kind of here, like so, right? And yes, I know my cornstarch is getting all over the table, but that's fine. It's just like flour when you're making like bread dough, right? So I'm working this and working this and working this. And after we really take some time to deal with this, of course, I'm going to also show you the results before we go. Obviously, I'm going to show you the results of our marshmallows in liquids. Okay, so let's dip this in a little bit more oil. I've got my container here, a little bit more oil, a little bit more of this. As you can see, it's still very sticky. So you can imagine the amount. I get to here and kind of like play with this. But this is just to give you an idea, just to give you the basic materials that you would need if you were trying to make an edible slime. Okay. And so you're looking at marshmallows. I have inside of this amount of slime that you're kind of seeing to make about like a kind of a palm full, right? I've got five marshmallows, and I would say a good tablespoon of cornstarch, 5 drops, so 5 marshmallows, a tablespoon of cornstarch, and 5 drops of my food coloring of choice. You see it kind of came out this light, strong color, but it's a light, it's still a pinkish color, and some oil. Okay, you may need up to a whole ounce of oil to really make sure that it doesn't remain too sticky, because you notice it's slime is fun, but you don't want it to be too sticky. If it's too sticky, then it doesn't come off your hands as easily, right? Okay, but now look, I'm exerting pressure. I added some more oil. I'm getting it to be able to come off a lot easier. Okay, and also I roll it in my hands. That's what you would want to be able to do with slime. See, you see how if I'm throwing a lot of pressure, I can roll in my hands like that. Okay, and I get my slime ball that will fall. So I'm gonna put that there. Okay, you notice you really would need quite a bit. And if you are going to actually eat this, I would only taste it. Do not eat this whole thing. It will make you sick, guys. Okay? But if you're just looking for just to have the idea, the option of edible slime, there you go. Finally made. Okay? Will I be doing that too many more times? I still like my other kind of slime. My other kind of slime is fun. I can put it in a baggie and keep it moving. Okay, so let's go back to, not to be concerned. I've got stuff right there, right? So let's go ahead and go back to our marshmallows in liquids, right? Do we remember how many liquids we used? How many? 4. We had 4 different liquids. We did a jumbo marshmallow, 1 jumbo marshmallow inside of about 4 ounces, because those cups are 5 ounces. Okay, if you're looking for some measurements, 1 jumbo marshmallow inside of about 4 ounces of a liquid. And I particularly used all clear liquids today just because I didn't want to have a color change due to the liquid. I wanted there to be a color change due to the marshmallow reacting with inside of the liquid, right? Let me do miss that. I've got some wipes here. I'm prepared. That was really sticky, right? So you can imagine, like, if you're gonna do that edible slime project, you really need to be kind of ready for a bit of a mess. You need to be ready for a mess. Really, frankly, I'll be able to just rinse my hands off with some water, with some soap and water. We already learned a couple of weeks ago how important soap is. A little soap and water in my hands will be perfectly clean. And like I said, non-toxic. It's not gonna hurt you or anything. I just would definitely be mindful of any allergies or anything like that when you're making it, and also when you're choosing your oil. That's another reason to choose the oil that I chose, because not too many people have allergies to just your basic cooking. It's not the healthiest thing for you, but you don't tend to get a lot of people that are allergic to it. Okay, so my hands are just clean enough to move on. Yes, I have some samples that I already did. About an hour ago, I started. I know Facebook, you're going to be not really looking at me, but that's fine, just for a second, right? You can still see science club thing. So these are the samples that we started during our class time together, the samples that I'm going to put to my left, which might be to your right, just depending on how the video's working, right? So this is our water, and that's my sample from 28 minutes ago. And then let's look at the water over here. This is the water sample and it's floating. I mean, all of these are floating. So that's kind of an interesting thing. This is the water sample from about 2 hours ago, actually. I started these 2 hours ago because I really wanted to get a really good impression of what happened. So this is now my seltzer water from a couple of hours ago, seltzer water from 28 minutes ago, oil from several hours ago. Okay. Oil from just a 8 minutes. And the vinegar sample, right? Vinegar sample and my vinegar sample. So now let's take these samples out of the cups That's why I have this fork. If you can kind of, if some of you might have noticed that I have a fork, we're going to take the sample out of the cups. Of course, I'm going to grab my marker really quickly. All right. And we're going to take it out of the cup. And we're going to do a squish test. Remember, I told you I did my research on this activity. And I liked one of the people who did it. That teacher actually did a kind of a squish test. To wipe my fork off, right? Because I don't want it to be contaminated with the water going into my other sample. Okay, put this here. This is my seltzer. This here. And you notice, right, like what has been left. So certain things, parts of the marshmallow must be soluble, right? Must be able to be dissolved, must be able to mix in. All of those are basically the same thing. I just said it in different ways, right? Certain components of the marshmallow must be able to mix in with these liquids because the liquids have changed color. Okay, so let's find out. We're going to use the squish test to get an idea of how the liquid affected the marshmallow. But right now, we're seeing how the marshmallow has changed the liquid. We look at the liquid, right? You understand? Y'all are with me? Okay, let's wipe this off. Let's see if there's any change. Now, for my real scientists out there, you know, if I'm going to squish, don't I need to compare it to a marshmallow that's not been sitting in a liquid? Everybody say, yes, Miss Stephanie, right? We absolutely need to compare it to a marshmallow that's not been sitting in a liquid. So let's take this. I'm going to get one marshmallow that hasn't been in the liquid, lay it down. And I mean, it's kind of a little hard for you all to see, but there is a definite color difference, okay, and a texture difference between all of them, as well as a difference between all of them and our non-soaked marshmallows. So I'm going to go like this, okay? I'm getting a lot of bounce back. All right, there we go, Facebook. Okay, so this is my non-soaked marshmallow. Nothing, I didn't do anything. So this is my water marshmallow. You see how this basically is now starting to kind of ooze out the bottom, the part that was in contact with the water started to ooze out. Then this is my seltzer. Okay, and that is just kind of basically oozing out seltzer. My vinegar one is a little harder, but there's like bubbles and stuff. Look, you guys see that? It's so wild. All right, and then this is the oil. Nothing happened. This actually is the one that is the most similar to here. Okay, so that's marshmallows in liquids. Marshmallows in liquids. Let me bring you up so that you can see. All right, marshmallows in liquids. There we go. So, my fabulous people, we are done with our marshmallow themed adventure for today. All right, we did 2 activities as usual. You're always going to get 2 fun activities and 2 great ideas. This particular idea, if you notice, these things can be done at home. Hopefully there are easy materials for you to get. Like this particular marshmallow slime is actually probably easier for you to make right now at this time as far as getting the materials than our glue slime, because for the glue slime you need a specific type of activator to make it turn from glue into slime, right? And then you can experiment, right? Again, using that word ever so just cautiously, you can experiment or test out or kind of compare how marshmallows change when they're in different liquids. And you can imagine that you don't have to just use marshmallows, right? You could use bread. You could use fruits. You could use even a piece of paper towel, right? You can use different things to experiment, to test, to compare, to learn, to be the creative, awesome, wonderful, scientific artist that I know each and every one of you are. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Miss Steph, and I look forward to seeing you midweek for my Facebook pop up. And then I will see you right back here at 2:30 Eastern Standard Time next Saturday for Saturday Science with Miss Steph. Bye, guys. Plans for some